So what's happening in the marketplace? Well, you're seeing this massive trend that while things are stalled at the congressional level or even at the international level, businesses have been taking action. You're seeing that things like fuel prices, which now are starting to drop in early 2015, but have been going up and are pretty all over the place over the last decade. How when the prices go up, what an impact they have on the economy and on business as a whole. When they drop, what are the opportunities for business? You're seeing supply chain, you're seeing groups and big organizations like Walmart, Target, Microsoft, all coming together, and they're all putting out sustainability questionnaires and pushing different issues down through their supply chain. You got equity investors that are asking questions about ESG or environment, social, and governance procedures that they're putting out to their clients and their investments and saying, what are you doing on these topics? And the reason they're doing it is because they're finding that those companies that have good ESG policies in place are actually outperforming the markets. Not only that, but you're seeing social responsible investing, which represents one out of every $6. You're seeing the SEC come out with its new guidelines that are actually requiring the disclosure of climate change. The Carbon Disclosure Project, or now it's called the CDP, which now has questionnaires on water, carbon emissions, and supply chain, represents about $92 trillion in assets. To give you some idea what that represents, that's larger than the GDPs of the United States, the EU, China, Russia, India, Japan combined. It's real money that is making a big difference on sustainability. The debt markets, a lot of the big banks are following the Equator Principles, which are principles put in place to say, if you want large infrastructure investments and you want funding from the International Finance Corporation, you're going to need to tell us, what are you doing to mitigate the social and environmental impact when you create that infrastructure project? Insurance companies, obviously they have the most to lose from these extreme weather events, which keep increasing. So many people are talking about, well, we're going to have an increase in climate temperatures and sea level rise, but insurance companies are seeing real business impact today. The number of extreme weather events that are happening have been going out of control over the last couple of years, and they're having to pay these massive, massive claims. So they're now saying to those big organizations that they're insuring, we want to see what your climate risk is. In fact, a number of the biggest insurers in the United States are actually not willing to give errors and emissions insurance, which is that insurance that a lot of executives and board members want to have in case they make a mistake, saying we're not going to give you E&O insurance unless you show us your climate risk. So guess what? A lot of these big companies, they're going to make sure they get that, which means they're going to have to disclose their climate risk. You're seeing the FTC weigh in on rulings on green, and you're seeing other organizations outside of the business area get in. You're seeing the faith community, the Genesis Covenant by the Episcopalians. The Pope has been really outspoken recently on climate change and income inequality. You're even seeing sports fans get involved. The Green Sports Alliance represents a number of different colleges and professional teams from around the United States and around the world that are not only incorporating sustainability into their events, but also ways to engage the fans. For example, in the 2015 National Football Championship, both teams, Ohio State and Oregon, were two of the greenest teams in the country, where the team Alabama, which Ohio State beat in the semifinal, was really lacking. And you started seeing blogs, you started seeing stuff that wasn't just about football. It was about, what do our football teams represent from a sustainability perspective? So if you can get Big Ten and SEC football schools talking about sustainability, you know that we need to understand the language. We need to be able to take advantage of that.